this meeting order, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Roll call, please.
Allen? Here. LaFour? Mistrovich?
Here.
Reindell?
Here.
Ricks?
Here.
Schultz?
Here.
Warren?
Here. Motion to excuse Dennis LaFour from tonight's meeting due to being out of town would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Approval of minutes for the city council meeting of December 2nd. We need a motion.
Motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on these minutes?
Yes, there is.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of 4, I'm the one that made the motion to approve the portion of municipal parking lot for the tent, and Emily would second that motion.
Okay. That's top of the page.
Yep.
Anything else? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Move on to audience comments and any non-agenda items. You gentlemen are here for the agenda. Nothing else? Okay, we move on. Adoption agenda, Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes? Motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Our rules, no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration. This evening we have 6. The first one being consideration of Little League 5-year plan. Mr. City Manager?
The City Council is scheduled to consider approving the Richmond Little League 5-year plan covering 2025 to 2029. In the past, the Recreation Board and City Council have approved a couple versions of the 5-year plan. This is a plan that's used by both the city and Little League to use as a guide to what improvements are allowed there without having to come back for approval. The Rec Board reviewed this at their December 3rd meeting and approved with a recommendation for approval from the City Council. Approving the plan does not obligate the city to fund any projects at this point. And representatives from Little League, including the president, Brian Davidson, are here tonight to answer any questions.
Thank you. Brian, what do you got to say about this?
We're just updating the 5-year plan. I believe everybody has pages describing it. I'll just go over some of the fine points here. We were at about 80 registered and 55 registered in our last meeting. Eric, are we similar to that now or more? Okay. So we're pretty steady there. We're expecting, we were expecting that to slow down for the couple weeks, and then it will pick back up right before the first year because we have an early bird special that ends on December 31st. So our registration numbers are higher than what they have been in years past. Last year we had a record high of 421, and I personally am estimating, along with several other board members, of being closer to 470 or 500 this year. That kind of brings us into what we were looking at in our 5-year plan. If you look at the special days and events, we are hosting quite a few things this year. Yearly, we have our Grandparents' Day, Opening Day, and our Blue Devil Invitational. And this year, we'll be adding another big tournament. It would be the 13U, or the Intermediate Boys State Tournament. be similar to what we had 2 years ago with the 11U state tournament. We'll also be hosting, I think, 3 district tournaments coming up this year, right around in that same time span, which would be late June, early July. And then in 2026, we are the front runners to host our first softball state tournament, the 11Us. We have done such a great job in district tournaments and did a bang-up job 2 years ago in the 11-year-old state tournament that we're being sought after to host some of these state tournaments now. So into the 5-year plan, which kind of starts a little bit background of what we did this year just to prep for our state tournaments and upcoming years here. We resurfaced our Diamond C infield. I don't know if anybody has been around the park lately to see that. We did that this fall. Put about 14 grand of our own money in there, and then in this, at the same time, this season we revamped our press box on Diamond D to make it a little bit easier for whoever's up there to see the game. And then once that's painted, actually, it'll look much more appealing as well. Into year one, which would be 2025, our wish list includes lights on Diamond C, replacing the fencing on Diamond C, and add gates on A and B. The replacing of the fence on C and the gates on A and B are definite goes. We may be looking for additional funding to help with the lights for this year. That actually kind of leads into our registration numbers. Last year we were about maxed. This year we're going to be pretty close to maxed on our registration numbers, and with the limited amount of fields that we have on our field, on our park, we're looking for additional ways to add fields without actually adding a field. So lights would give us another time slot on that field on Diamond C once a night throughout the week. Really would help out, at least in the next couple of years. So this year we should be fine as far as registration numbers. In the following year and the year after that, we should still be fine even with the addition of lights. So that's kind of where we're at right now with year one. Year 2 and 3 are very similar. Diamond B and Diamond A's backstops and most of their fencing has not been upgraded since the park was built in '74. So those are in dire need of a little bit of a facelift there. And then years 4 and 5 are definite big item wish lists. We would like to eventually add on to our indoor training facility, making it a little bit easier for us to house winter workouts for the kids. It seems like every year we get about a 1 week to practice before the season starts on the field, and every team only gets about 1 hour a week in the cages. And then as we keep on adding more and more teams, we are limited on what we have in indoor space. If we were able to expand that, then we'd be able to maybe keep everybody at an hour. Maybe the older boys and girls could get an additional hour throughout the week. So right now we're even going, that's all 7 days of the week, Saturdays and Sundays from, I believe, 9 a.m. through 4 or 5 p.m. So that's a brief rundown of what we have on our 5-year plan.
Council have any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the Richmond Little League 5-year plan covering years 2025 through 2029.
Support.
Motion been made and support. Any discussion? Looks like we're all good. Anything to add, either one of you? Okay. Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Good luck. Item number 2 is consideration to purchase park maintenance mower. Mr. City Manager?
The existing park mower, which is a Gravely Pro Turn, was purchased in 2014. The mower was scheduled for replacement in next year's fiscal year, 25-26. However, the engine went bad this past September, and park staff had to utilize one of the DPW mowers for the remainder of the season. The park mower is used to maintain all city parks and the library. Park staff puts a lot of hours on this, and it's not a good long-term solution to have them keep borrowing the DPW mower. So Jim and Margot worked together to get quotes from various companies on different types of mowers. The Exmark series, E-Series with the Kawasaki mower is what we've been running at the DPW with very good results. So we're recommending that we purchase the Exmark Laser Z E-Series with the Kawasaki engine based on a review of past performance, durability, and price. And Jim and Margot are here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to authorize $10,959 for the purchase of a 60-inch Exmark Laser Z E-Series from Zimmer Sales and Service with the expense charged to the appropriate line item, equipment acquisition, Parks and Rec.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Anything to add to John's comments on this?
The only thing I would add is that in addition to the DPW mower, the two parks, cemetery mowers are also Exmarks, and we've had no issues with them.
Council, any comments? Gotta get her done, gotta get the grass cut. This way it puts us all in line then with Exmarks. Okay. They've proven to be good mowers. So hopefully we can maintain them well and keep it going for a long time over there in the park. And we are cutting the big, the festival field, we're cutting that with the John Deere.
Correct.
With the big mower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember we used to do that with the small mower, and we were buying mowers every few years, it
Yeah.
seemed like. But that's good. All right, any other comments? Any comments from gentlemen? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have a second motion here.
I make a motion to amend the Rex Fund, Parks and Recreation Equipment Acquisition line item from $247,000 to $257,479.
Support.
What's been made and supported? Any discussion on this item? Do you not? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to item number 3 is consideration of purchase of peristolic pump. Mr. City Manager.
The City of Richmond adds chlorine and phosphate to the drinking water for disinfection and iron sequestration. The feed pumps require periodic repair or replacement, and the city keeps a small inventory of repair parts and replacement parts. In April 2023, Council authorized the purchase of a peristolic pump for well 9. The pumps have worked very well, requiring no maintenance and eliminating all of the air binding issues that sometimes occur with the chemical feeds. And so we're requesting permission to purchase additional peristolic pumps.
Thank you. Jim, anything to add to this?
Just reiterating that these pumps, Steve Gray, one of our utility servicemen, he handles this mainly, and he is very happy with their performance, the very limited maintenance that he's had to do, meaning almost none, and the air bind, it has appeared to resolve completely the air binding issues that we kept running into. So this purchase is for 2 pumps to switch over a well house that isn't currently using this style of pump. Generally speaking, if we have our inventory, we're using one as a replacement. We don't have such a large purchase. It's one as needed to replace our inventory.
So let me understand, are all of our wells going to have this style pump?
Ultimately, that is our intention.
Okay. Okay. All right, any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to waive purchasing ordinance requirements due to section 64-53A and authorize the expense of $6,431 for the purchase of 2 peristolic style pumps from RS Technical with funds charged to the water fund line item, with a roll call vote.
Thank you so much, Rob. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Did we get a support on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Who was that?
Me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Any audience comments on this? Back to the table. I thought for sure you guys would jump on this one. Back to the table. If there's nothing else, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did it, didn't I? Roll call.
Mistravich.
Yes.
Rindell.
Yes.
Ricks.
Yep.
Schultz.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Motion does pass. We move on to item number 4, consideration of purchase oxidation ditch bearing. Mr. City Manager.
The City of Richmond wastewater treatment plant utilizes 2 oxidation ditches for primary treatment. Each ditch has 2 rotors that introduce air into the treatment process, and each rotor has 2 bearings. The city has previously identified Applied Industrial Technologies, AIT, as the lowest cost supplier for the bearings, and has previously purchased the same bearings. And we're requesting additional purchase of these.
Very good. Jim, anything to add to this?
No, thank you.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to designate the city manager. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong one, aren't I?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Glad to see I'm not the only one.
I make a motion to authorize the expense of $5,160.94 for the purchase of an oxidation ditch bearing from Applied Industrial Technologies with funds charged to the appropriate line item in the sanitary sewer fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this?
Favor.
So when you talk bearings, is this something like, are the bearings far apart, or is this
So
something?
the oxidation ditch, I'm just estimating, it's about 20 feet long, this rotor, so there's each rotor has a small bearing and a large bearing. We keep one of each in inventory, and that's really what this is, replacing inventory. They do wear out periodically, and we have to pull those bearings off the shafts, regrind the shafts, and reinstall new bearings, and so it's a critical part of the operation, so that's why we keep one, so that we don't have if happens to be a big lead time, we have one, we're just waiting on a spare, so that's what we're doing now.
Very good. Any other discussion here? Gentlemen, anything? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to item number 5, consideration of adopting resolution 2024-22 Oak and Pre-Step contract. Mr. City Manager?
The city has received $250,000 in transportation economic development funds from the Michigan Department of Transportation for the reconstruction of Oak and Pre-Step streets. As part of the process, we have to enter into a contract on who has authorization to sign things, and a contract between us and MDOT for receiving those funds. And the city has reviewed the contract before you, and the resolution is provided by MDOT on exactly what they want us to approve tonight. So it has all been looked at by Jim and myself, and we're asking you to approve the resolution.
Very good. Anything to add to that?
Just standard practice for all MDOT contracts, that there's a signature resolution.
Very good. Council, ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion to designate the city manager and the city clerk as individuals authorized to sign the TED funds contract between MDOT and the city of Richmond for the Oak and Pre-Step reconstruction project.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this item? Certainly appreciate the money to offset our cost again. Any other discussion? Anything, gentlemen? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 6, consideration of board appointments. Mr. City Manager?
We have 2 board appointments tonight. Mayor Pro Tem Mike Mistravich is currently serving on the Board of Zoning Appeals and is asked to be reappointed. And then Susan Foster is currently serving on the Board of Review, and she has also submitted her application for reappointment.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to reappoint Mike Mastravich to the BZA for a 3-year term with the expiration date of December 31st, 2027.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm just glad to serve on the BZA board. Currently, I'm the chairperson, and I think we have a real good board, and when something comes before us, we do really consider it and do a good job.
I applaud the job you do. It's not an easy thing to tell people no if it's
Yeah.
not a good thing for the community, but you guys have done a very good job under your leadership. So, any other discussion? Gentlemen, anything? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Next one is to confirm my reappointment of Susan Foster to the Board of Review. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment of Susan Foster to the Board of Review for a 3-year term with the expiration date of December 31st, 2027.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this item? It's been a number of years she's been on the ZBA. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been quite some time, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and she does a great job. She's shows a lot of leadership there with her real estate experience in our community. So glad to see she's back. Any other discussion, comments? Gentlemen, anything? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to miscellaneous matters from the city manager. Sir?
In the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of great community events for leading up into the holiday season, ranging from, the Christmas cash, the tree lighting, the open house, everything. And so I'd just like to thank staff, rec department, DPW, police, fire, cable, and those at City Hall that have helped. Really had a lot of nice events. And so, and to all the volunteers, Christmas decoration volunteers that come out on a cold Sunday morning. And so it's just nice to see how the community comes together.
Good time, Mr. City Manager, to announce the date we're taking down.
Sunday, January 15th will be the
Very good.
takedown for the Christmas decorations.
About what was it, the 5th, I think it was? We
Yeah.
thought that was a little too early when he talked to me today about it. And
Yeah.
so that next week. I think is it the 15th or is it
Did I?
the 12th, John? It seems like you told me that it was the 12th. Yeah, it's the 12th.
12th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the 12th. Yep. You can be out there on the 15th.
Well, hey.
Won't be much to do, I don't think. But okay, and we meet at 8 o'clock that
Ken's.
Sunday morning to take down.
Yep.
So anybody that would care to come out, be more than happy to have that help. Moving on to council comments. Michael?
No, nothing to add, thank you.
Jim?
Yes, got to commend the Christmas parade this year. It was awesome, and the tree lighting and all that. Everything else that the city has done, it's just fantastic. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe one.
Emily?
I concur with Councilor Schultz.
Jack?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. No, I agree with city manager and Jim's comments. It's been a great time. It gets better every year, it seems like, now that we are resolved to be up there at the Veterans Park. It seems to work well. I think we had more people this year than the previous year, which I guess we're looking at around 1,000 people probably were up there for that. And that was a great time. So some of the other things they did this weekend also, they had the reindeer uptown and what all the shops and everybody's really dressed their windows up, and the town looks great for the holidays here. So again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. We will go to the calendar now, being the 16th today. We have the City Hall, the library will close this coming Saturday, the 21st, and it will reopen along with the City Hall and the Community Center the day after Christmas, the 26th. And they'll be open on Thursday and Friday, and then close again on Saturday, the 28th, and reopen on, I better turn the page here, reopen on Thursday the 2nd for business again. We start our new year off at that point in time. Never fails, it's either the library or the Parks and Rec Department with all of their announcements, but we have quite a few things going on at the Odd that starts this Sunday. Youth basketball, there'll be teen open gym. Tuesday the 24th is Christmas Eve, so we'll be closed at the Odd. Thursday, December 26th, Macomb Family Services will be there from 11 to 4 with a lot of things going on for the kids. And drop-in pickleball, which is very popular. We'll start at 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock on Thursday the 26th. Friday the 27th, we start pickleball at 9. We've got Youth Basketball League from 1 to 4 on Friday, December 27th. And also adult basketball will then start at 6 to 8 on that same day, that Friday. December 28th, we will be closed. There is a private party. There's a rental of the Odd that day. Monday, December what do we have here? Is that 23rd? Yeah, 23rd. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Is drop-in pickleball. 1 to 4 is Youth Basketball League again. And I believe that is it. If you have questions on all this, I'm going to ask, is this on your website, Margot?
Yes, yep.
Okay, so go to the City of Richmond and go to the Parks and Rec, and you can pick up this schedule of the events. If you have any questions, 727-3064 for Parks and Rec. So that's it for the calendar. Is there any other business of the City Council this evening? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
motion's been made and supported. There's no discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Merry Christmas.